feeling that you get the first time you take that first breath underwater is just amazing. And then you know it's for you or you know it's not for you. The stuff that we do is dark, muddy, cold areas.
Sometimes we get in the water and it's just nasty. Like today it was pretty bad. It was you see like the oil or whatever chemical from this chemical plant upstream is floating in the water. Like the garbage you find, the stuff you see floating in the river. I mean, almost to a point you got to put it out of your head. It's just like you got to execute your mission. That's all there is to that.
You can't be a fair weather diver, as we call them, in the Pittsburgh District. You dive all year long. It might be snowing and 36 degrees outside, and we're splashing in the water to make sure industry can get through the chambers and our customers can not be held up, at least amount of restriction to them as possible. Whenever they call, I know they need me. If somebody has a question about anything happening underwater, that's my realm, right? I'm not going to expect you to understand what's happening under there, or where that boil's coming from, or why is that gate leaking, or why is that valve not closing. That's our realm. You show up to the facility where they don't know what to do. They don't know what the next step is. And we're stepping on ground saying, hey, don't worry, we got this. We got the ball now. It's a specialty job. The members that make up the dive program, they're the mechanics, they're the lock operators and shift leaders. They have that instant knowledge of what's going on. So when you look at a map, all of us just came from all over the place to be at this one facility to say, hey, we got to fix this. This needs done now. And yeah, I mean, no matter what any of these guys would tell you, they do it because it's for the challenge of it more than anything. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like showing up to a facility, X is going on, and by the time you leave, it's fixed.
They're thanking you when their lock's out of commission because there's a problem that only necessarily a diver might be able to fix.
We could be anywhere within the district and react within 4 hours diving to fix that problem. You'll never get a contractor to be able to respond within 2 hours of the problem or 4 hours of the problem and diving to fix that problem. And that's why the in-house team's needed. And usually we can have it fixed that same day and industry can just start business as usual.
If we don't keep these facilities running, if you shut one facility down, that would affect the whole district. It affects the whole area.
You'd shut down the river traffic, right? So you'd shut down industry. Coal can't get to where the coal needs to go, power plant shut down. What happens if the power plant shut down? Next thing you know, you hit that light switch at home, nothing's gonna happen anymore. Your refrigerator's not gonna work, you know? So everybody will be affected. So these locks and dams that originally were 50-year lifespan, some of them are moving into 100 years. You can just look at the failing infrastructure. The stuff's only getting older. Piping that they use, we introduce mild steel and stuff like that underwater, what happens? It just starts to rust and fall apart.
As a diver, we get down and we get to see things that are mostly unseen.
Anytime we're out diving, it's we're a pretty tight group, and you have to be, right? Because you're doing something that's inherently dangerous.
That's going to get you.
I mean, it's one thing to say when you want everybody to go home every day with all their fingers and toes, but this is actually a field where the likelihood of an accident happening that could be catastrophic is a lot higher than just coming out here and doing a normal thing. So if you do make one small mistake, it could be critical and it could be an incident that somebody might not go home that day.
So you have to have that trust. And for the 15 of us, we all trust one another. We know deep down that if something happens to me and I'm down 50 feet underwater, that my buddy's coming to get me.
It's not just about keeping the program going, it's about these people you dive with all the time, you trust, you work together. You know, when I was in the military, your life almost depends on somebody. It's the same thing with diving, you know. And it means a lot to like have that group and that camaraderie like that.
It's just a, you know, quote unquote brotherhood kind of a group. I know whenever I enter that water, everybody on that boat is going to make sure I'm going to come up okay. But without them, I couldn't do it. That trust goes both ways, I think. They're trusting me and my trust in them. and it just makes for a great team.